Okay.
Anyways, all right, Meta. What's up with you? What you been doing? What you got?
Before we get into my topic, I just want to give first a shout out to our fallen a fallen piece of technology. The Kinect was discontinued by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yes, finally, the last nail in the coffin has been put down, and
It is.
honestly, I think more of the internet's
really
cheering than it is.
Yeah.
The Kinect was pretty bad.
I said it at the start of when the Kinect and all this VR stuff was coming out, and I say it again: we're just not there. I know
Definitely for the Kinect.
Definitely for the Kinect.
VR's doing better. Like, it's not gonna die off. Like,
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's fully gonna die off. But we're not there for what we really want.
Yeah.
I mean, if you play a VR headset and the game is just not gonna. Like, you get the cool movement of your head and you get to look around. It's great and awesome.
Yeah.
But like, even example, if you played Resident Evil 7 and you played it on VR, until you were in the game itself, the way the cinematics played was your character would actually look at it. You would actually see the cinematic being played as if you were in almost a movie theater setting.
Yeah.
And that's really weird. The resolution was heavily dropped down.
Honestly, we haven't had any like full AAA VR games yet. Like, I mean, we've had the ports, but not like
RE7 is like the closest.
Yeah, RE7.
Well, I mean, like,
it's not even
for the VR.
Yeah.
We've just had like experiences basically for them.
Which kind of sucks, but like that. I mean, that's a telling problem of some other things. But it kind of died off, and as I stated, like, I don't think we're just there yet. I just don't think we're ready for. Yeah. Well, not
we
that
haven't
we're not
had
ready.
a really
everybody's fucking ready for it.
We haven't had a big title for it this year,
right?
Even if we don't have a big title for it, it's so hard. I remember when I was talking with at the time, at least, I haven't talked with them forever, but I was talking with a game developer, and he was now teaching classes at a school because he got out of game development to go instead teach it. But he stated that one of the bigger problems that was talked about in the industry is that it's just really hard to like program for those kind of things, for detection of like where actual joints are and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Because even though it says it quotes unquote, detects in a real 3D space, if you put your arm straight out to it, it actually has a very hard time detecting your shoulder joint and your elbow joint inside of your body, because you have other things that are in the way. It just sees a point, and that's a problem for them. So, but that was an issue for the Kinect and anything that works akin to it, at least for one. If you had somebody who like jury rigged up,
what Kinect was good for? Just Dance. That's about it.
Yeah, it was great. Just Dance.
I never played a single Kinect game.
Just Dance was alright.
I played some Kinect games. I'm going to tell you right now, you could generally cheese it to make it far less a pain in the butt to play.
Yeah. What about that Star Wars Kinect meta? Do you like dancing Han Solo?
Nah.
Dancing Vader?
I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo.
Dancing Emperor. That stuff was embarrassing.
That was amazing, Ops. I don't know what you're talking about.
I like schlock and I'm embarrassed.
So definitely want to give a shout out to that and just say you probably won't be missed.
Yeah, taps for you, Kinect. Taps. Yep.
So let's go to the real topic, which is Fire Emblem Warriors. Yay! The game came out last Friday, so it'll just be a week old tomorrow. It was out a month before in Japan, so they had it out before us for a long while. We got a chance to play around and everything and find out what it was. Regardless of what anybody says, the first thing I want to just throw out here right now is that Fire Emblems has actually done decently well. Decently. The game has just sold combined between Switch and 3DS, and this is the only site that I can get any information on as of October 8th, stated that it debuted in Japan in 1 week, and in the first week, it sold a little over, I want to say 60,000 copies altogether between the 3DS and the Switch version.
Yeah, I think I saw it was around 40,000 on the Switch.
Yeah, 40,000 on the Switch, 20,000 on the 3DS.
Is that worldwide?
No, that was just Japan. That was about 50% of its initial shipment, which, if you want to compare it to the best thing, Hyrule Warriors, which sold on the Wii U, sold just a bit under 70,000 units with a 57% sell-through on the first week. And then Hyrule Warriors Legends sold about 56,000 copies with a 60% sell-through. So it's not bad. It's done financially. It's done exactly what it needed to. It hit a fairly decent mark. I wouldn't say it's great, but I don't know if anything can ever be truly great, except unless you're Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, where you sell more games on the actual consoles. So,
what? It has more than 100%? What's that rate they call it?
I think it was 102% was what was reported. It sold 102%. Yep. So, unfortunately, we won't have an actual VGC up for it yet until potentially the weekend to see how well it's done in here. However, there are reports stating that at least in the UK, or the EU, I shouldn't say the UK because they're not the only EU people, in the EU that they hit around the 16. Anymore. It hit around the 16 in the top 20 charts, so that's not bad. It's definitely not bad for what was, for a lot of the complaints that led up for this game, which we'll get into here in a moment.
Oh, yeah, can't pass Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yep, can't pass Mario Kart 8.
Dude, no one's passing Mario Kart 8.
Not when they have the blue shell on their side.
Only Zelda or Odyssey will probably pass that. I think the Mario Kart for the DS is like one of the highest-selling games of all time or something like that.
This
is just for weekly sales, not total.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. So that is the financial sellout in this guy. Which,
you guys streamed it on Saturday?
Yes. No, we streamed it on. It was Saturday.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
We did stream it on Saturday.
I was watching it.
You were for a while,
there. And then we actually finished up the rest of it on Sunday, around early afternoon to mid-afternoon, a little bit.
Oh, you actually finished the story?
Yeah, we finished the story.
Okay. How many chapters are in the story, Meta?
There is 21 chapters altogether.
Okay, but then you get the stuff after that too, though, right? The history stuff.
Yeah, you get the history stuff, which is really where a lot of the meat and potatoes comes in for the hard difficulty challenges.
And it's where you can get your Lyn.
Yes, it is where I got my Lyn. I've already unlocked her. I've already gotten her up to level 60, and I'm attempting to unlock her final weapon so that I can utilize that and then run around and be an idiot. So the game, just getting out of the base things, the game is, in my opinion, it's not bad. I choose those words very specifically.
Yeah. I would probably agree with that.
Yeah. I'm having more fun with it than I thought I would. I've only played a little bit of it. I played 6 or 7 hours of the game.
It's very hard for me to want to say that this game is fantastic for what a Warriors game is, and I'll be honest, that's really what I'm going to compare it to is other Warriors games out there on the market.
Makes sense.
Because honestly, Hyrule Warriors really set the bar for me of what a Warriors game should be in the fun department. Going into this game was kind of it felt like a step back in some ways, which kind of sucked. And I really want to talk about it because there's a lot of things in this game that do really undercut what could have been a really awesome game. There's a lot of things about it that I would nitpick, just really take that away from saying it's really fun like Hyrule Warriors. The first thing off the bat, just to talk about, because this is what everybody's been talking about since even before it came out, the amount of units and the types of weapons that they utilize and the copying of movesets. It's the last one to me is absolutely unacceptable for this kind of game, especially with its roster size. It does not have a big roster.
Yeah,
it's not acceptable.
The amount of copying for the roster size left me sorely disappointed.
Yeah, there is a number of characters that are copied. Chrom and Lucina have the same moveset. Celica and Marth have the same moveset. I think that's her name, right?
Celica?
Yeah, which is weird.
She was really late at
on. She has an excuse. At the very least, she has an excuse for that.
I guess.
But honestly, I would say that don't add her in the first place.
Right, that's how I
DLC.
Yeah, make her DLC or something so you can actually.
They're this Fire Emblem game just came out. We should probably put a character in from it.
Yeah, I think that was a waste of a character. All the Pegasus Knights, which are ironically also the only spear users in the game, all share the same moveset. That is a shameful display.
Oh yeah,
shameful.
No, it's going to be free to play it then. I want to play Spear users, but I am not playing a Pegasus user.
That's the other problem is that there is no Spear user.
I refuse.
There's not even armored units for your side. That's actually really weird. You get no armored units.
Yeah, because Frederick doesn't even count, does he?
No, Frederick does not count as an armored unit.
He doesn't in the mobile game either.
You know,
he doesn't really count as one.
You know what's going to be what'll be the real like rip off is if the DLC characters are also moveset clones.
Yeah,
that would be
that'll be complete no excuse. That like would rip off. That would.
I'm just waiting.
If that happens, I will be legit pissed. I will not.
And no new characters, all just costumes for existing characters.
Yeah, I paid $10 for a reskin.
I think there's another set of characters. The two new main characters for the storyline that's focused around. They are copies of one another.
Bland character number 1 and Bland character number 2.
I don't even know why they bothered with them. They're such a waste of time and space.
They should have used the mobile games brother and sister at least.
At the very least, they would have been like, "Oh, well, we know them." So
apparently, they were told to change the mobile. The mobile game creators were told to change their brother and sister because of this game. Which I mean, I think they came up with a better pair anyway.
So
yeah,
I believe Leo and Elisa also share the same moveset.
A brother and their little sister from the Fates games share a moveset on each side.
Yeah,
because or Takumi, I think, and whatever.
Takumi and Sakura.
Oh, Takumi and Sakura. Yeah, they share a moveset. So so I don't know. I can't confirm Leo and Elise.
I believe I've read that. Yeah.
But I do know that like Leo is on a horsey, so I don't know if that really changes anything or not. But beyond that, there's a lot of characters that unfortunately do have shared movesets. The other thing I will state is that a lot of the movesets are unfortunately not all that fun. Unlike Hyrule Warriors, like it was really fun to learn, to figure out what new weapon would do what for that character if they had multiple weapons, because generally the movesets had like some very interesting effects about them, and they were generally heavily elemental based. So if you had like a water weapon on it, generally your charge attacks would have like water based effects around it. It was very nice and flashy. That's not the case with this game. It really kind of feels more like a Dynasty Warriors or a Samurai Warriors type game where it's a little bit less on the flashy side and more of like that they just happen to have this type of thing tied with this charge attack for their characters and whatnot. So, the other thing I want to state, like right off the bat, is there's a lot to actually state off, but the big other thing that was really really bothersome for me, there's not a lot of color in this game. A lot of the characters have tons of different palettes and colors to them, right? But the maps are often very bland and boring.
That's sad.
There's only a couple maps that I can recall in my mind that really stand out in color. There's a lot of reused maps. There's just not a lot of maps in general, in fact.
Yeah.
Which is not okay. Again, that's not really acceptable. A lot of the maps generally are indoors or enclosed as opposed to outdoors. And that's because, again, they're often repeated, which sucks. I think the other thing I wanted to state about it is there are some unfortunate glitches with camera angles and whatnot. When you use your special moves, it feels really satisfying. But like, if you're too close to a doorway, if you're too close to a wall, which apparently means if you're standing in the center of the room, you're still too bloody close to a wall or a door, your camera will glitch out and it won't properly perform the visual as it's supposed to. And you'll do the damage, everything else is fine mechanically, but it won't look as impressive, or your camera will just kind of go into a neutral position and it won't follow through with things. It's really annoying, especially with characters who have very big looking specials. Like Lynn, for instance, this is a very big problem for her. I generally will often 50-50. It's either going to be I will actually get to see the visual or I won't, and I feel like it does lean a little bit more towards I'm not going to see it just because I was too close to that corner of the room. So
yeah.
The other issue I'm going to state here is that the story mode and the free mode are kind of one and the same. Once you beat a map, it becomes a free mode. But if you want to play that map, you can play it freely now. You can do it however you want, but you still have to see like the opening like storyline, which still loads through, which you end up pressing A to skip through a lot because you'll skip through it faster than you'll load up the stage to actually skip through and just go to the preparation of the stage. A lot of the menus tend to be condensed in really weird ways. Like, for instance, there's 2 menus, Camp and Convoy. And Convoy kind of lets you look at your characters, change the equipment on them, give them items, look at how their relationship statuses with other characters are. And then Camp is where you would go to buy items, increase like their move sets, go reforge weapons, get blessings, or even just train up a character, pay money just to level them up automatically. These really didn't need to be split. I don't know why they were, but it's a pain in the butt. And
I think it's a holdover from actual Fire Emblem games.
I guess so. I don't know, but in this game, at least, it's an unnecessary menu split. It's kind of a pain in the butt that has to happen.
Yeah, it could have been condensed. I'll agree with you there.
Beyond that, that's kind of where my nitpicking really does stop. The game, I know it's like a lot. It's a lot of nitpicking, I know, but these are, when it comes to it, the devil's in the details, and the details here are unfortunately lacking.
Right. What is left to enjoy?
Believe it or not, the gameplay is still very fun, though. I enjoy it. It is still fun to play through. It is got a fair amount of challenges for you. The difficulty certainly take it up steps that are keep it fun. You don't ever feel really. It's ironically enough, this is probably one of the best difficulty-wise. Enemies don't absurdly murder you on harder difficulties, but they certainly do take longer to kill. It feels like a fair difficulty ramp-up. There are definitely some stages that require true thought process, especially in the history battles. There are definitely some stages that require some time and thinking about how you're going to approach this fight and where you're going to go to do things. We actually ended up Lily and I ended up playing at the same level a couple times because we needed to, in order to get an S rank on it to complete it, we had to specifically game how certain things were done. We had to specifically rush after certain units. We end up having to deploy ourselves in different ways to attempt to gain the objectives and under the time limit to beat it. It actually required some thinking. It was very nice. It was a very nice change of pace that just required a couple playthroughs to really think about how we're going to go about it.
I just remember when you guys were streaming, you were like, this game seems kind of easy. And then, or you're just in a mission, and then all of a sudden, Obs' trash can gets killed, and it's game over.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
my waifu, my poor waifu.
I will state the storyline. The storyline stuff is pretty easy. Even maybe it's because I'm experienced with the Warriors games, and Lily's not half bad herself on them. Or if it's just because the game truly is easy, I don't know. But I will say that like playing the game through normal mode, it really did feel like a walk in the park. Once you get to the later stages, the only difference is that they feel like they become, as everybody was saying in the stream, they become bulky, but they didn't become harder. So
yeah, they just added hit points.
Yeah, but they didn't really up their damage. They didn't really make them more
whatever
aggressive.
the equivalent of a bullet sponge is in a game without bullets.
A sword sponge.
Right.
They didn't really change in the difficulty. Even the final boss. The final boss was, admittedly enough, it felt satisfying to be able to dodge through his attacks. I love that thing that they brought back was the dodge roll, because you can
it's pretty good.
You can delay cancel out of a lot of moves and then allow you to quickly get into a starting combo again, as opposed to waiting for the ending frames to play through before you can start up again. It is cool. You get this fun to play as your characters. The movesets are generally entertaining, if a bit lacking as compared to Hyrule Warriors. But I mean, Hyrule Warriors was really, in my eyes, like one of the most perfect Warriors games I've played. So this game coming up on is unfortunately got just a lot of things that kind of bite on it. It does utilize the weapon triangle system.
Yeah,
I think it does it in a fair manner. You are at a disadvantage if you have the wrong type of weapon. You are at a disadvantage. Enemies generally block more. They will flip out of your combos, so that reduces the damage on them. But you can still kill them. They're not technically any harder to kill, but they generally are smarter against you and will make you work for the kill against them. And the enemies that you are strong against just become idiots and really easy to kill very, very quickly. So the weapon triangle system is there. I will say though, like I don't. Some of the characters don't really feel really weird for the weapon triangle system. Like archers are essentially soft countered against everything but casters, and casters are really only good against monsters. But but they're not a full counter like the weapon triangle is for sword, spear, and axe.
They didn't have the magic triangle, and then
so casters kind of get like
because they just didn't have the roster to have elemental magic, light magic, and dark magic. Archers have never been part of any triangle, I believe.
Even so, if they're not a part of a triangle, they certainly made them a part of something in this game. Again, they're only really good against they're better. They're just not super. Again, because in the game
they kill flyers is what their thing is.
That's really is the flyers and mages they're good against. Innately, I think all the bows have innate wing slayer on them. You just can't get rid of that.
That's a Fire Emblem thing. Basically.
For them, it just means you essentially do always critical damage against an opponent if you've got whatever Slayer on that is. It's just kind of weird because they're technically soft countered by everything, except for those two things, and then casters are just strong against monsters, and other things are generally a soft counter to them as well. So it kind of puts them in a really weird state of things. I don't know why they bothered to put them in the triangle system at all. I don't know. Have you guys? I don't know if you guys have either of you had a chance to play the game at all.
Oh yeah, I set up like 7 hours in. I'm more positive on it than I thought I was going to be. I'm not like a super huge fan of the Warrior games and stuff, and obviously I love the Fire Emblem game, so that's going to be the main draw for me. And I think the game, you were talking about the weapons triangle, that almost feels like the least kind of well implemented piece from Fire Emblem, in my opinion. I love the mini map that you go on. You can direct your characters, and it looks like a Fire Emblem map.
That was pretty nice, yeah.
I like the little sprite things. The little sprite art of the characters are still on there too and stuff. Just like you're playing like one of the 3DS Fire Emblem games. It is a fan servicey game and it has all the cameos and stuff. I've only got the Awakening characters so far, but you get nice little nods to their story that kind of remind you of the game. It's got a decent amount of voice acting, and the voice acting has been pretty good so far. So
Laura Bailey, though.
It's been lots of Laura Bailey. I'm just waiting.
She's not Lucinia in this.
Oh,
one.
She's not?
No, she's not.
Nope.
Oh my god.
Yep, she's
gone.
Was
she too
Matt
busy
Mercer.
doing Mordor?
Probably.
Matt Mercer keeps his role as Crom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best characters.
I'm waiting for Yuri Lowenthal. My boy.
Presso was swooning.
My boy.
Crom.
She does love her Matt Mercer.
I was actually pretty high on the idea originally, as someone who loves Fire Emblem like Ubs, and I'm not into hack and slashes usually, but just the more I saw how they were implementing the game, I'm probably just not going to get it.
Yeah,
I can very much understand that.
It's sad because it's not going to. I don't think it's going to get a sequel, and this Fire Emblem just screams the perfect. Perfect fit for a Musou game, and
that's exactly what I said to Lily. I sat there and I was like, Fire Emblem is probably one of the most perfect game series you could pull for this. I mean, there's an assload of characters to put in this game. There are plenty of different weapon types.
There's so many characters.
It just seems they were lazy.
And they were 3 games. It's we'll just use 3 games characters.
I don't know why they didn't just hit this thing right in the park. They should have just taken the characters that everybody loved, jammed them into a game together, and then said, that's the game.
How do you
not know why they didn't do that?
I've never played the game, or the console ones, but how do you not have Ike and Roy, and then also how do you not have Roy and
I would have had them do 2 characters from each game, probably. Hector and Lynn would have been a good one.
Yeah, at least as a base. These are the 2 characters that we need.
Give me my Erica.
Crom and
Ephraim.
Robin.
Yeah, Ephraim.
Maybe it'll get better with DLC, but
I doubt it.
Each DLC is supposed to bring 3 new characters to
3? You say 3?
3 new characters for each DLC that's coming out.
That's not enough.
Yeah,
well, that's going to be 9 for the first 3 DLC. If it goes to a season 2, that would be 18 altogether.
And how much does that cost?
I don't know, actually. I have not looked it up.
Like, am I going to have to spend half the price of the game?
Exactly.
9 characters?
I don't know.
That's it could get better with DLC, but I mean the base game needs to be good. There needs to be a lot of variety in the base game.
That's really what the problem comes down to. Is like, again, just honestly, the biggest sin in this game is that there is in and of itself, there is a lot of moveset copies, and I think that's the biggest sin in this whole game.
It's still fun. There's still fun to be had. I'm getting enjoyment out of it. I haven't played it quite as much as Meta has, because for one, I know it's not a long game. 2, it's on my Switch, so I can like take it to work and play it on lunch and stuff, which I have been doing. And 3, I've been playing an old JRPG too, so that's been dominating a lot of my time. Then Mario's going to dominate.
Which
my time
one?
Next? Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2.
Oh, right.
But anyways, it's still fun. There's still fun game to be had there. Like I was like, it could just get really boring fast. Which is kind of my experience with musou games and the problem in the past.
That's my problem with hack and slashes in general.
But this one, I don't have that like kind of like weird weariness of playing it. Like I could play it, I just would rather play the other game I'm playing right now.
I think it would have very much helped personally is that they went to a more colorful palette. I know Fire Emblem can be very colorful. I've seen it.
I mean, they had to use the actual palette of the characters, so those are so you see those are colorful.
Yeah, those are very colorful.
They just didn't stay with the rest of the game.
Just the environments.
There's tons of colors. There is from dark hues to light hues.
Even the map looks like blue, shit. The overall green. Map.
Yeah, it's just honestly I don't understand why they made some of the design choices they made, especially considering that Hyrule Warriors is by far and large one of the best Warrior games that has ever come out.
Yeah, I'd say it's worth it if you're a Fire Emblem fan. I can't really speak as a musou fan.
You probably, you gotta like hack and slashes to a degree, probably.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably worth waiting for a price drop.
I would definitely say this is probably a game you want to wait for a price drop on, unless you really want to play.
I'd be really happy if I spent $40 on it. I feel fine at $60, but I'm like right there. So
truly, what this game is just unfortunately lacking is a lot of polish and cleanup, and
it's just a bit lazy.
Yeah,
a bit lazy.
I'm looking at I'm cross-referencing Hyrule Warriors and Emblem Warriors, and it looks like only one of the high-level people from Hyrule is a producer on Fire Emblem, like the director, the designer, the artist, composers.
The whole team that should have been on Hyrule Warriors should have done
Fire
Emblem Warriors. Like that's really what it comes down to.
Hey,
if it had been the same team, I am telling you, I would be raving about this game for a Warriors game because it would have been phenomenal. I just don't understand how it's unfortunately it's just it's like I don't understand how you can really mess this up. It's by far it's got an amazing roster of characters. It's got plenty of weapons. It's got good ideas. It's got strategy involved for all your strategy lovers. You can play the musou style for it if you just want to go hack and slashing. There is so much to pull from those games. And it's unfortunately just not lived up to what it could have been.
Yeah. Seems like they're just a bit lazy.
Yep. Hey, man, we'll get our Fire Emblem Switch game next year. This one, I believe, is their projected 2018 date for an actual Fire Emblem console game again. Our first one since the Wii.
If the game receives enough love, we might see a Fire Emblem. We might see Fire Emblem Warriors Legends, and maybe they might fix up some stuff in there. But I just don't know.
Yeah, if they ever do like a repackage of all the DLC for a cheaper price, I might go in and get it.
I think I'm kind of hoping that what they do, and this is like again the perfect usage of like patches and whatnot, is that they patch this game and even go back and change movesets for characters and fix up a lot of the bugs and glitches in it. I don't know what they're gonna do, but all it kind of makes you want to do is play Hyrule Warriors again.
Dust off the old Wii U, right?
Hey man, that was a good game.
Yeah, I never got to play it, but nah.